Good morning. Welcome to TGS Live on the 3rd of February 2022. So we missed the good day yesterday of 2222, but we're looking forward to 2222. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. Welcome to TGS Live. TGS Live is the little 10 to 15 minute update about what's been happening in the life of TGS network. What is TGS? TGS is many things. TGS is a multidisciplinary network of audit, accounting, advisory, tax, and legal service firms. There are a lot of benefits of being a member of a network. Being with a network with such a strong brand gives your firm a meaning. The brand, of course, gives it a brand. The network is a connection of international experts all over the world which can solve your problems and help. It is a place to work on your business development. It is a place to work on your staff development. It is also a place where you can pick up industry insights much closer to the action than you will find in the media often, and much more personalized. It also quality assurance. I mean, a brand in itself does not guarantee the quality, but the total quality process that each member firm of TGS goes through guarantees the quality of connections you have. This week particularly was business development week, which means I have my regional development groups where I have a tour of the world. I've been to Africa, I've been to Asia Pacific, I've been to the Americas, and I've been in Europe, speaking with people from Peru, the USA, Brazil, Spain, Israel, Kuwait, Kenya, Ghana, Costa Rica, Cyprus, Indonesia, in the UK. All of these things talking about how can we develop more business together on a regional basis and on a global basis. Now, the fact that I have these short meetings, half an hour, 45 minutes to talk about development strategy with usually the managing partner of one of the biggest firms in each of these countries, that is the kind of consulting that you can get, but it's very expensive. Whereas I have I don't know, it seems like big to say it, but the greatest minds in audit, accounting, and advisory to help with the business development. And it really is a phenomenal experience. So for your business development, TGS, we don't even think out of the box. This is the box. We're in the box. Anyway, Industry Insights also is a key week this week for Industry Insights. We've been planning what we're going to be writing about. So we've been talking a lot about IFRS 16, a lot of people looking for that on the net just now, so there'll be an article coming up about that. Also today, we have an interview with Natasha Heron, Tash, from Taxable with Tash, the podcast, which is sponsored and supported by our member firm, TGS in the UK, Hillier Hopkins. We're going to be speaking with Tash in just a minute about her podcast and what she talks about. So let's go and get Tash.
During lockdown, I started to write, so the first lockdown, I started to write articles for various publications, and it was more just to, boost my profile as I was starting to become a tax manager, and I was becoming more confident in my abilities. So I thought, why not try and write some, publications, give myself a push ahead. And I actually really enjoyed it. So from there, someone reached out and asked me to be a guest on a podcast. And originally I said no, because the thought of hearing your voice recorded and then sent back to you, I couldn't do it. I didn't have the confidence. And then eventually I gave in. The marketing department said, that we can listen to it and I'm sure it'll be fine and not to worry. And I gave it a go. I still haven't listened to it to this day, but everyone else has listened to it and I got great feedback. So it was kind of a natural progression from that over about a year. So I started thinking about what could I do to kind of, I do the articles, but I want to get more of my personality across. Could I go and maybe interview people? And the podcast was kind of a natural progression. And it turns out that my housemate, her best friend, edits podcasts as her day job. So I teamed up with her and other experts that she's got, and it felt nice and easy, and it didn't feel too scary moving into that. I trust them completely, and they've done a great job editing it. Just brushing my teeth, and I was like, right, okay, 12 12 episodes in a season, that makes sense, then that's 3 months. And I was like reading up on, I do a lot of Googling in my evenings and spare time, and if I do something, I like to be thoroughly researched. It's the auditor in me. And it said, do not do episode 1, episode 2, make sure that they've got a catchy name. And I just started thinking of names that I kind of liked. So I was like, oh, okay, like Beyonce, should you put a ring on it? And I was like, oh, okay, I can do all the tax benefits of getting married. I was like, right, okay, something to do with Greta Thunberg. And I was like, okay, go green for Greta Thunberg. And I'd just be there and I'd be writing them down as I would be doing little tasks and thinking about what taxes would go with them, or I'd think of a tax and do it. So I heard an Adele song and I was like, right, okay, 1 episode can be pensions. Can you hear me? And it like, I don't know, it just kind of came to me in a brainwave, and we've kind of like tinkered with them slightly, and I tried to do the descriptions. I found that quite easy to begin with, but 12 is easier to come up with than, you know, how many seasons there's going to be. So I think I'm going to need some help with the names further down the line.
In terms of what kind of feedback are you getting from the podcasts?
It's actually been great. I was super nervous. I was dreading launching it because I honestly thought people would just think I was just being a bit silly, because I'm not really on social media. I don't venture into like any recordings of myself or anything like that. So it was very like left out of like my comfort zone. But the feedback has been great. Even people that I went to school or college with that I've not spoken to since, that have got their own businesses, have reached out and said like how great they think it is. They follow it every week. They always listen to every episode. Clients from Hillier Hopkins have been really supportive, and they've sent emails either to me or the partner, even ones that I've never spoken to before. And it's been really good. Everyone says that they like the pace of it, that it's not too complicated. Obviously, I'm going to have to get more technical once I run out of the, let's not say the easier topics.
The low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, definitely starting with the foundation. I don't want to start going in too technical, otherwise I'm going to lose everyone. But eventually, obviously, it's going to have to get more technical because I'm going to run out of content. But so far, everyone's been enjoying it. It's just quite hard to talk about so many taxes in one episode because you can't just focus on one tax. It just doesn't work. I think with the electric cars and vans episode, there was a whole section on P11Ds, and I really had to switch that up because it was painful for me to write. And then when I was recording it, I was like, I'm just going to bore them to death. I'm going to have to figure out a way of changing this, because if I'm finding it boring, then everyone else is going to just completely log off or switch off.
Yeah, you have to enjoy it. We had a similar experience with IFRS 16. I spent the day talking about that yesterday, and now I can't. It's like I can't talk about it anymore.
You can't hear the word again. It's going to trigger memories.
I even regret telling you that, but that's it. So that's good. So it sounds like it's really good for clients and new clients, because they see you, and it's it gives you a good image. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So one like kind of last sort of thing. I mean, I'm going to share all the links where people can listen to it, and we have a little article on the website. Because people can follow it in a car or wherever they're doing it. But just if I was an international business and I was looking at the UK to set up a subsidiary or something like that, what are some key tax things that I should be aware of?
So you've got all of the compliance side. So you need to make sure that you understand when your tax year is going to be, because that might not coincide with the tax year that you have at home. Obviously, our personal tax year is done on it's kind of April to April basis, but I think in America it's done on a calendar year basis. And I'm not sure what some other countries are, but you need to make sure if you've got a company, you're also going to have personal tax because you're going to be the owner, and making sure that if you do also need to report in the UK, what's the company's year end and what's their reporting requirements, and then also what's your own reporting requirements, because a lot of people join the two together and they don't always work. And you also need to think about what other taxes might exist in the UK that don't exist back at home, or other countries that you operate in. So VAT, obviously we have different rates, we have slightly different rules in the UK. We are moving further away from the EU as well. So judgments from the EU we do take into consideration, but we've also got the UK courts. Now we're not within the EU. We don't have to follow the EU rulings as closely as before. So that would be something to consider. You also need a tax expert to tell you, okay, just because it says this here doesn't mean that that's necessarily the case. I think with every subject, we can all learn any subject ourselves. It's just whether you want to invest the time and effort. And if you've got a business and your business isn't being a tax expert, why would you spend all that valuable time researching into something you can just get another expert to do?
Do you have a little pitch for the your podcast? What do you tell people?
Oh, okay, let me have a think. I should have thought of this, shouldn't I? Okay, so if you are thinking about venturing into learning about tax, or if tax is something you'd like to understand in more detail, then you can log in and listen to a weekly podcast called Taxable with Tash, and I break down different subjects each week into bite-sized pieces and try and make it more understandable and approachable for you, so you can save. Oh no, scrap that bit. Scrap it at the end.
Okay, I'll cut it before then. It was good. Yeah, fantastic. It was good. It was good up to the end.
You can tell it takes me a few goes on the actual podcast.
Thank you very much again, Tash. Great to speak with you. Remember, you can follow Taxable with Tash every week, or you can listen to previous episodes. You know how a podcast works. There's an article on the TGS website which will take you to the links where you can listen to the podcast. We're also going to post the links in the chat section of this post as well, and on the YouTube. Everything else, my big head is getting in the way. You can register for all the events which are coming up on TGSU over the next months up till May for our regional conferences. Remember, there's regional development. There is sessions on corporate social responsibility. There's a future leader sessions. There are the tax committee, the audit committee, the innovation and technology committee, and the legal committee. All things that if you're part of the network, or maybe if you're not part of the network, it would be great to get involved with. Industry insights, if you want to find out about tax in the UK or how tax in the UK might affect your business, reach out to Tash or follow the Tash podcast. Remember, TGS Live is every week here on a Thursday on LinkedIn, and you can follow it, of course, whenever you want on YouTube. There's an article published every Friday on the TGS website, and it just leaves for me to say thank you very much. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.